Nowadays, in this modern online space, all the sales coaches and people will tell you that you just have to get good at objection handling. You have to understand tactics in order to get ahead in 2025. But what they don't realize is the sale actually doesn't happen on the sales call anymore. Maybe 10 years ago, nowadays, no. Instead, it actually happens long before that. And having an effective sales system isn't just being good at communicating, objection handling, and understanding sales. Yet I know so many coaches out there who are so good at sales, know everything about sales, but they don't have any educative mechanisms before calls even happen, and they're barely making any money. And before you click off thinking, yeah, I already know that, because if you did, you would already have prospects flooding into your calendar, jumping on calls with them for 15 minutes, and closing them for $5,000 to $10,000 up front. And not just some $200 a month, oh, continuity, oh, low ticket, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. That's exactly what I've done as a fitness coach to make over $50,000 a month by understanding how to properly educate people, to simply jump on calls with people for 10, 15 minutes and simply collect cash. And I've done this with several other of my clients to get them to $50,000, $60,000, even $100,000 per month as online coaches. So if you want to know our education strategy, so how we can pre-sell people into our calendar without having to understand all these objections and all these unleveraged strategies and just go to the heart of leverage and get people in our calendar with objectionless closes, stick around to the end because I'm going to walk you through the entire strategy. All right, so let's jump into the actual individual strategy behind how to properly educate people, how to get these objectionless closes, okay? So this is a 3-step process that I'm going to walk you guys through right here, okay? So the first component of our education system, the first step that we have to do is gather unique insights, okay? So instead of spreading conventional wisdom about, oh yeah, in order to lose weight, you have to, track your calories and eat less and move more. If you go and make content like that about like, oh yeah, here's a diet plan, that's conventional. Everyone already knows that. It's not unique. It's not something that you know to be true that others don't. There's this quote from this high-level investor named Chamath Palihapitiya, and he says that unique insights attract buyers and conventional wisdom attracts sellers, okay? So we're trying to attract people who are bought into our system, bought into our mechanism, okay? And the first step in that is gathering things that are actually unique and that are insightful pertaining to our market, okay? So unique insights are the unconventional secrets or truths that you find through your personal experience in the marketplace, okay? Any insight you've learned from your expertise, your actions, or the feedback from them should be documented. So whatever process you're doing for anyone, you should try to be gathering these unique insights about specific things within your business. If it's a unique insight pertaining to diet, accountability, certain things, you have to document. Okay, so your goal is to gather as many insights that very few people actually know about and bring them to your prospects. Educate your prospects about these things that you know to be true, but they don't, okay? And the reason why unique insights are so incredibly valuable is because they essentially allow you to bypass failure by gaining clarity on what works before needing to test and experiment yourself, okay? So for example, if you knew what you know now about fitness back when you started, you'd have gotten in better shape in a quarter of the time it took or less, okay? Because that's the amount of leverage you can gain purely from insights, knowledge, knowing the correct direct path, okay? So a few months ago, I was listening to this podcast. There's this guy at Sequoia. Sequoia is a investment. They invest in startups. I think they're based out of Silicon Valley in San Francisco. And this guy named Roelof Botha, who's the decision maker, okay, he pretty much invests or makes the kind of final call of like, yeah, we're going to invest in this company, or yeah, we're not going to invest in this company. And he stated that one of the two biggest indicators of whether a startup will be successful is how many unique insights they possess about their market. Okay, so ask yourself, what's a unique way you solve a problem that no other companies are using to solve the same problem? Okay, what is your uniqueness? Okay, because I hate to say it. Like if you're a fitness coach and you're watching this, or you're just a coach that you're watching this, okay, I'm going to use fitness because it's a pretty simple example. There's so many fitness coaches that are just saying, hey, are you a dad or are you a white collar guy who wants to lose weight or lose 30 pounds in 2 months? Like, and here's a diet plan, here's a workout plan. It's just like, it's the same boring thing, okay? And people want to buy into uniqueness. People don't care about the same iterated thing over and over again, okay? So if you do the same thing everyone else does, I hate to say it, you're gonna get the same results everyone gets. Average fitness coach makes $2,000 per month. That doesn't have to be you. You have to make the decision to be more than that, to do different things, to try new processes and educate more effectively, okay? Which is why your first step to crafting an effective sales process isn't watching a Grant Cardone sales recording or reading some 35-year-old sales book. Your first step to gain insights that will make you different from the hundreds of thousands of wannabe coaches peddling gimmick programs, diet plan, whatever, is figuring out unique insights, okay? What are things that you know to be true that others don't, and recycling that, okay? So how do you gain unique insights? Okay, number one, you're not gonna get a unique insight just by sitting around or fiddling around on Google. You actually get these by taking action. If you've actually done what you're selling, if you're a fitness coach and you've lost weight, you probably have a ton of unique insights about losing weight that people don't know, okay? And then number two, by solving real problems and getting feedback on that, okay? So if you're helping someone do it, then you're gonna wanna get the data from that of things that are truths and things that you can then understand to be unique insights and then use that in your process, okay? So you only get unique insights by working with people, acquiring clients, building a system, getting data from that, and then getting an insight, like an output from that data, or you doing it yourself, okay? So it is derived from action. You're not gonna get these just by sitting around and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on Google or ChatGPT, okay? It's not gonna help because all that stuff on Google, all that stuff on ChatGPT, sure, it may be conventional wisdom, it may be correct, but at the end of the day, it's not unique, okay? It's conventional, people already know it, and that's not what sells, okay? So first step is unique insights. Step number two is using that to change beliefs, okay? So how do you then take that insight and change beliefs with it? So now you're probably thinking, what do insights have to do with sales? How does this help me get more sales calls and close more sales calls? Because at the end of the day, your business is built off of how many sales calls you can take and how many sales calls you can close. It's as simple as that, collecting cash, okay? But in the post-truth era we're living in, where people don't trust each other, people are scared, there's so much competition out there. If you talk to anyone in the online space, they probably have a story about how they paid someone and they never got what they asked for. I've been there, right? People only buy from people they know and trust, okay? Which means you can't use the same old, outdated, pushy sales tactics from 30 years ago and expect to have a good closing rate, okay? Think about this for a second. If you're in the online space, or let's say you're a coach, or let's say you're a creator of some sort, and you've bought a program before, every time you've bought something, it's not from an ad you see that you click on and you opt in and just instantly buy. You probably maybe see an ad or you see a YouTube video or you see some sort of educational asset and you watch their YouTube. You watch educational assets. You maybe, you get to know them for a bit, okay? The average statistic on this, they did a Harvard study on this, is that people need to spend on average between 7 to 11 hours with you in order to feel comfortable enough to take the next step and book that call, okay? So if you're booking someone in who has never seen you before, who is completely cold, sure, there's a possibility that you can close them, but it's gonna be a ton of objections. It's gonna be super hard to close. And I've even found after you close those sort of people, the churn rate on that is horrible because the commitment in their brain is flawed. They're constantly doubting things. They're constantly 100% not sure because they didn't have that initial burning desire to work with you, okay? So if you wanna consistently close high-ticket packages with ease, you need to understand that the sale is actually made through education, not through pushing, like an offer or like, hey, I will get you, you will make $10,000 in the next 30 days or your money back plus a refund plus this plus, no, that doesn't give any more trust, okay? I have not sold an offer like that in a really long time, in over 2.5 years, because it just didn't work, okay? As Steve Jobs says, okay, he said, the best marketing is education. And I truly believe that right now with such pure amount of competition, it's the only way to get ahead. Okay, so the days of running an ad, pushing people to book a call and forcing them to just close are over. Nowadays, if you want to be a high-performing coach, you can't just pitch, you need to reshape their beliefs. You need to get them bought into your overall brand, your processes. Okay, so the way you can think about this is these people have an initial belief about, oh, this is how I lose weight. okay? You are portraying to these people a unique insight, and then you are shifting their beliefs, okay? So you'll 100% have to reshape the beliefs of every prospect, because if they already believe what you believe, they already have success, okay? Which is why it's your duty to bring your insights into the marketplace and give your audience clarity on exactly where to focus. And on top of this, if you take someone's belief system from A to B, A being an old way that didn't get them any progress, to B being a new way that gets them to think, gets them to understand certain unique insights about X, Y, or Z, they're gonna attach so much status and authority with you because you've delivered that mental transformation. Not a physical transformation yet, but a mental transformation. And then now they're gonna just be like, okay, you've helped me understand this. Maybe I've used this to get some small progress on myself. I'm still gonna come to you to go to the next level. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do online education and give things away for free online because then people are not gonna wanna come to me because they've gotten it already online. And I say, no. As humans, we always want the next step. If you get to 20K a month, then you think someone's just gonna be at 20K a month just chilling, not thinking about 30K a month? No. If someone loses 30 pounds and they're like in decent shape, they're still thinking, okay, how can I still get better? How can I still get healthier? How can I optimize my sleep? How can I do this thing? How can I just get better in general? Okay? So it's a continual sales process. Okay? And then the third and final step is to sell the process. So once someone understands your insights and what they need to focus on, the next step is to sell your process. So you can point someone toward the goal, but there are thousands of ways to get there. The only reason why someone would go with you over the hundreds of ways to solve the same problem is because they are sold on your process, okay? Your mechanism, so this is where your mechanism comes in. This is like the how they're gonna get the results, okay? Your mechanism is a specific section of your offer that shows people how to get results, or how you got the results, or how you got results for clients. Arguably, your mechanism is the most important factor in comparison to your market and offer. If you are in a specialized market, cool. There's like tons of other people helping white collar people, or, I help whatever. If your offer is a grand slam offer, cool. But your mechanism usually what separates you from everyone else, even if your market and offer seem similar on the surface. Okay, so imagine a wall with a lever attached to it. When you pull the lever, something happens. Okay, in this case, the lever is your mechanism and the wall is the market and offer. It's the specific action or process that you use to deliver the desired outcome or result. It could be a unique strategy, it could be a proprietary system, or a specific set of steps that you follow. So your mechanism is what will allow your offer to stand out in your market and will allow you to have a massive competitive advantage. Okay, 99% of the time, if you think of big guys in the space, like Paul Saladino, for example, Carnivore MD, this guy, does hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Or, for example, Nate Belmar, okay, he does like 300, 250K a month on School. He's one of the biggest guys on School in fitness, okay? What separates these people? It's the fact that when you think of them in your mind, you're not thinking, oh yeah, this is just a fitness guy. You're thinking, oh no, Paul Saladino talks about carnivore diet. He talks about raw milk. He talks about, fruit. I know him because of the mechanism. Nate Belmar, you're not thinking of, oh yeah, he's a fitness guy. You're thinking, oh yeah, he has all of these, Asian sort of medicinal practices and herbs, and he's anti-gym, but he's so in shape, and he talks about this, the mechanism, the difference, okay? So once you have these unique insights, then it's very simple. You just have to use these unique insights to express these to people and include them in your mechanism, because your mechanism should be just a collection of your unique insights, okay? If let's say you have 5 or 10 unique insights that help people go from fat to fit, then your mechanism should be those bundled up together and then just sold in a sense, okay? And that's what Paul Saladino, that's what, Nate Belmar did, right? So it got them a lot of results, okay? So for example, let's say you're in the strength space and you help college level power lifters deadlift 2.5x their body weight in under 3 months. You've got the who, you've got the what, okay? But without a unique mechanism, the how, you're still just a generic strength and conditioning coach, okay? You need, okay, your unique mechanism here might be, some sort of diet optimization, if it's hormone priming, if it's a periodization split, okay? If it's a split design, if it's hormone-driven training styles, micronutrient partitioning, or a combination of all of those that you rename for yourself, you bundle them together, you make your own personal name, like let's say your name is John Smith, the Smith method, okay, and sell that. That's what Mike Mentzer did, the Mentzer split, okay? Bundled them together and named that, and that's the mechanism. And then when in your content, what are you doing? In your top of funnel content, you're just talking about that mechanism. You're talking about the unique insights in that mechanism. What's that doing? That's attracting buyers, okay? And then the last and final step is just to distribute. Distribute. Make educative content around these mechanisms, around these unique insights, okay? Because if you have all of these unique insights, but you can't properly distribute them, at the end of the day, you're not going to get any results. At the end of the day, you need people to see them and be educated, okay? And this is the thing, you don't need thousands of views. You don't need like multiple millions of views. You only need a couple hundred views. I don't get lots of views on my videos, yet I've made over $50,000 a month from my YouTube channel. How does that work? Okay, let's say out of every 100 people watch my videos, maybe 2 or 3 people that book a call, okay? Because they've watched and they've been educated on that unique insight regarding my mechanism, regarding what I'm actually doing, okay? So you don't need a lot of views. And this is the thing, a lot of coaches, they get a lot of views on like a video of them flexing or like a video of them in the gym. And they think that that video is gonna bring them like a ton of sales, and it never does. Why? Because the content top of funnel is not talking about something unique around that unique mechanism, okay? Around that unique insight. It's just some random video with a lot of views, therefore it's not resulting in any sort of sales. Makes sense. It does make sense. At the end of the day, like, you need people to see the unique insight, see the unique mechanism, and then buy into that, and then they're gonna move forward. So you don't need a lot of views, okay? So we distribute a lot of these on our YouTube, okay? And your goal is just to make free content that feels insanely valuable, and, let me come back, and post it on self-distributing platforms like YouTube, okay? We also have a strategy as well, where obviously we are pulling a lot of the people from our ads go to our YouTube. A lot of the people, because we run ads ourselves, we have ads that pull people to through our Instagram to our YouTube channels. We do some YouTube ads as well, but YouTube is insanely valuable, and driving people from ads to YouTube is insanely valuable, and getting people in that ecosystem, okay? So that they view these educative content, view these educative assets, okay? In the videos, don't hold back, don't keep secrets. I give the biggest insights away usually for free, okay? This creates massive goodwill, and they'll want to repay you. Remember what I said before, there's not gonna be a point where people are gonna just get the value and then just dip. They're gonna get some success with that, then go to the next level, then I'll help them get to the next level, okay? So this is the same thing HubSpot did with their CRM. They have like a marketing CRM, and instead of just running ads and saying, hey, do you want a CRM? They just made a bunch of free courses, like literally just 100% free, okay? About email marketing, about social media marketing, about whatever. And people took these for free, and then they just said, okay, yeah, if you want to use a CRM, now that you know marketing, use ours. We'll give you a discount, boom, okay? They got tons of sales through this. I think they're like I think they're $1 billion brand. I believe so, okay? So after people watch a video and get educated, only then do you push their contact info, okay? So their name, phone number, email, social accounts, and then try to get them obviously booked into a call and then sold and moved forward and actually collecting cash on the call. I don't even like to say it's a sales call. It's a collecting cash call. It's an onboarding call pretty much. So once prospects become aware of you, get educated, get sold on your mechanism and opt in, that is now where you get them on a sales call, okay? And then bingo, bango, sold. So how the entire sales process looks like is 80% is marketing education, okay? It's mostly marketing and education. And you're not gonna have people who come in and are gonna watch one video and book a call. There's gonna be people in your pipeline for a while, watching things for a while, getting educated for a while. I've had people who've been like, hey, I've been watching your stuff for like a year. That's normal. Don't think on like a 1 week time horizon, think on like a 6 month time horizon, okay? Because people are always watching your stuff. People are always consuming. okay? And then you don't know when that 7 to 10 hour window is gonna be for them, where they're gonna crack and then move on and actually make that decision to go with you, okay? So, and then obviously the last half is the sale. Do you still need to understand sales? Do you still need to know how to objection handle and do all that stuff? Of course, you should know how to do a sales call, but you shouldn't be prioritizing that, especially nowadays, okay? So overall, shift beliefs, understand insights, have conversations with people, talk to your market, experience the transformation you're selling yourself, okay? Understand, collect your insights. We collect all of our insights in an insight tracker. So these are some of the insights that we have that we're implementing in some of our offers. Like Skool is middle of funnel. Skool is not bottom of funnel, where we're trying to convert people on a low ticket offer. Getting leads is pointless. Lead generation is pointless. One niche will help with making fulfillment easier. Okay, so all of these insights that we've gotten in our company, I apply directly to our mechanism that I go and sell. Okay, so I have tons of these insights that I've written out that I've applied to my mechanism that I talk about in my videos. Okay, next is selling the process. So your unique mechanism. So applying that to your individual mechanism and portraying that, selling the overall mechanism. And a great idea behind this is bundling it up and giving it a new name. I think that's a great idea. And then distributing these assets. So putting these on YouTube is insanely valuable. YouTube has made me a lot of money. I've made a lot of money through ads as well, but a lot of money through YouTube as well. And what you should be hoping to do is, I think it's a great strategy. I've done this with a lot of clients, is just having your YouTube in your bio, and whatever sort of ads you're running, if it's a VSL ad or whatever, people are still gonna go on your page, follow you, go to your YouTube, click your link in your bio, watch some of your YouTube, and get into that maybe 2-month sales cycle or 1-month sales cycle or 2-week sales cycle or 6-month sales cycle, okay? And then from there, getting onto the sales call, okay? So this process is the process that we implement with all of our clients in terms of helping get calls, in terms of helping educate. And then on top of that, we do a lot of ads as well to drive people to that and to actually get sales calls, okay? Because at the end of the day, we do want sales calls, we do want to close, but this is a long-term strategy. So if this is something you want help with, if this is something you want us to implement in your business, completely done for you, just pretty much show you how to do this and implement this directly in your coaching business. If you're a fitness coach online or a health coach, then we will do so. Go down and book a call with myself or my team. We'll walk you through the entire strategy. And I hope you got some value from this video. And I hope you now have a new strategy in terms of not thinking on terms of, okay, I'm gonna get a sales call, get a lead, close the lead. It's okay, I'm gonna get a sale, I'm gonna get someone who views my content, who views my education, is in a sales process for a bit, and then closes effortlessly for $10,000. Okay? So thanks for watching, and I hope you got value.